Welcome to the Shadow Hour. Some shortcuts take you home, others take you out of reality entirely, and once you're there, it will never forget you. Late one evening, a man named Cal drove home after a long shift. Exhaustion dulled his senses as his GPS rerouted him to avoid freeway traffic. The new direction led to a street he'd never seen before, Echo Street. The voice command told him to turn, and he did. The road was flawless, perfect asphalt, identical white houses with trimmed green lawns and no signs of life. It felt staged, a neighborhood without neighbors. He expected a stop sign, a cross street, anything. But Echo Street went on and on. The homes repeated, like a copy-paste error in a simulation. On his third pass, he noticed a familiar dented mailbox, the same dead lawn patch, the same porch light flickering. The road had looped. He had driven in a circle, or something far stranger. Turning the car around made no difference. The route doubled back on itself. He pulled into a driveway and shut off the engine, the silence louder than the radio had been. The GPS screen rebooted. All it displayed now was, "You have reached your destination." There were no other directions, just Echo Street. Cal stepped out. His shoes crunched against the spotless sidewalk. The air felt hollow, like it lacked pressure. The sky hovered in a constant twilight, a strange pink blue that never darkened. He knocked on a door. No response. Through the window, the interior sat pristine but wrapped in plastic. Couches, table, chairs, untouched and preserved like a stage. As he walked, the street subtly started changing. One house had a single bricked-over window. Another, a small security camera now mounted above the door. A gnome appeared on a roof and vanished the next time he passed it. On one loop, a red stop sign appeared, weather-worn where nothing had stood before. The world was rebuilding itself with every circuit, as if watching and adjusting. He opened a mailbox out of curiosity. Inside was a postcard, yellowed and bent. No name, no stamp, only 6 words printed in bold block letters, "Do not sleep on Echo Street." That was the first time fear truly settled in. The streetlights turned on, though the sky hadn't changed. His wristwatch began ticking backward. On the next loop, one house had disappeared entirely. In its place, a broad field of perfectly green grass swaying in dead air. In the center sat a wooden chair, facing away. He walked toward it, but every step lengthened the distance. The closer he got, the farther the chair moved, until eventually, the chair was somehow behind him. Security cameras had multiplied across rooftops. A telescope pointed from one attic window directly toward the street. Every house now had its curtains drawn. Behind one curtain, a soft glow flickered, the screen of an old TV. From the sidewalk, he could barely see it. But the screen showed live footage of himself, walking, in real time. He wasn't alone. One house had a door slightly ajar. Inside, a corkboard covered in Polaroids, all showing him from different angles, walking, standing, even sleeping in his car. Some photos captured perspectives impossible for any camera to have taken. One photo was dated tomorrow. A static-filled television powered on. It played a distorted recording of him stepping through the very doorway he just entered. He checked his phone. No signal. The contacts list was blank. The camera roll, empty. When he tried to call 911, the only sound was static, followed by a message that said, "Welcome to Echo Street." His reflection in the TV was no longer synced to his movements. It lagged behind, like a memory struggling to catch up. The sky began to flicker. Pink turned to pale green, then charcoal gray. Then the sky turned to static, like from a lost TV signal. The houses now towered, their facades stretching into impossible verticals like paper folding upward. The neighborhood no longer resembled a place. It felt like an idea, a fever dream. It was like nightmare simulation, repeating endlessly. Everything fell still, even the breeze vanished. A loudspeaker crackled somewhere unseen. A mechanical voice echoed from nowhere.
"Sleep authorized."
A low hum began to vibrate through the air. Fatigue weighed on his eyes, unnatural and heavy. He stumbled forward, resisting the pull of sleep. The sidewalk beneath his feet stretched, curving in on itself. He turned a corner and found a cul-de-sac, shaped differently than the others. A final house stood at the edge of it all. Its door opened to a hallway with no walls, only endless darkness ahead. He walked in, and the hallway grew darker, deeper, and longer with each step. Behind him, the sound of shifting pavement. The entire street, Echo Street, was folding into the hallway, swallowing itself. They say a street only exists if someone walks it. But Echo Street doesn't wait for footsteps. It loops for the forgotten, for the ones who took the wrong turn and weren't able to turn back. You won't find it on a map, but you'll know when you're there, when the houses all look the same, when the sky never changes, and when the silence starts repeating. If you ever see a sign for Echo Street, don't look back, because if it remembers you, it never lets go.